What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, here with my always dancing co-host, John Luke Garofalo, and joined today by our great friend and even better analyst, Eric N. Moody. You probably know him as just Moody, though. You can find him on Twitter at the previously mentioned Eric N. Moody. He is an NBA, NFL, WNBA analyst over for ESPN. And Moody, we are hyped to have you here with us today. It's always fun hanging with you.
Yeah, no, it's just like, it's like old friends kind of getting together, have a little fun, play some games. I got some water here. Kind of had enough coffee for today, so I'm going to lay off of that. But hey, it's always good to catch up, gentlemen. And as I've said, like many times, like this week and last week, we are on the precipice of the chaos that is the fantasy football NFL season. But you know what? I'm excited, man. What about you guys?
I'm with you, Moody.
I just want to know, like, if I could look into a crystal ball and ask one question, I want to know who the Geno Smith or Cordero Patterson is going to be. The one player that, like,
that's who you're using your question on?
That's who I'm using my question on.
Geno and Cordero Patterson?
The one player that I can draft at the end of my drafts in all my leagues where everyone's going to be going like, what the hell? Why are you drafting that guy? And then they end up being like a top 10 player at their position.
That's an intriguing question, but you know what? Since we're buddies, I've got some answers for you. I'll say quarterback. The quarterback I really like Kenny Pickett. We've got that history of the year 2 breakout age at the quarterback position. Remember Carson Wentz, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence. Hey, they're recent examples. So I like Pickett. If you want me to pick a running back, I love Samaje Perine. I'm not convinced Javonte Williams is going to be 100% healthy. We all saw and watched with J.K. Dobbins last year. So I love Perine. Jerry Jeudy, I talk enough about him on Twitter. So if you want to know my rationale there, look at my Twitter feed. And I'll say last but not least at tight end, I really love Juwan Johnson. If you're looking for a guy that's drafted and available outside your top 12 options, he's someone that easily has the potential to finish as like a top 8 option, just depending on how quickly he resonates with Derek Carr. So those are some guys that I'm very, very high on.
I love the Juwan Johnson call out. I feel like that's a name that if you want him in your drafts, you can get him. Nobody's drafting him. He'll be yours. We got some people in the chat ready for today's show. Craig down here, our chat historian, coming in with the statistics for Moody's previous game show performances. It is your 11th overall FYF appearance.
That's
and this
pretty
is your
high.
9th game. You have 5 wins, 3 losses, and I'm guessing 1 tie. Or this will be your 9th game, and you're 3-0. In Jeopardy. JL, you are going up against the behemoth of fantasy football.
Yo, Greg, what's my record in Jeopardy? No, wait, don't tell me.
1-48.
Never mind. Scratch that.
We got Clint in here, hyped for some Jeopardy, but hoping for that sandwiches category.
If you've never seen Moody on the show, he's a walking encyclopedia. The man knows football. I just forgot that until this very moment. I'm about to get wrecked.
Well, JL, the good news for you is sometimes
right?
Front Yard Fantasy is full of absolute nonsense. Where you can come in being the smartest, knowing the most, and leave going, what the hell happened?
Leave with the least.
Exactly. We got Dustin in here who helped out with some of the categories today. Said, I cannot wait for one of the categories today. I'm guessing it's the one he helped out with. We got Victor in the chat. Welcome in, Victor. Said, hola, bro, chachos.
What's up, Victor?
Also, he said Kadarius Toney told him to smash that like button.
No way. Good looks, Kadarius
Toney. And smash that like button. And Victor said, happy National 7-Eleven Day. You guys getting your free Slurpees? Have you gone yet?
I probably need to go do that. I'm sure the kiddos would probably want that. But the question is, do I want the kiddos to have additional sugar, right? That's the real question. Whenever you're a parent, sugar, the effects are I'll just let you. I'll let the two of you find out whenever.
Okay. All right. I guess first thing I'll try is just give him a bunch of sugar.
Is that why? Is that why my girlfriend doesn't let me have Slurpees after 9 p.m.? Well, I've been told multiple times we're not allowed to go to 7-Eleven after 9 p.m. over there. We had a question from Grimfan in here to kick us off today with some of the news that came in. So we found out today that Kamara is agreeing to a misdemeanor charge. The felony charge is dropped. It's no longer a felony charge. But we have seen instances of players not having charges brought against them or lesser charges than originally anticipated, still getting suspended by the league. Moody, how is this impacting your draft strategy around Alvin Kamara? And are you still expecting a suspension?
Yeah, I'll definitely kind of address the Kamara situation. So And I just I tweeted out like a video kind of about this, like with my instant reaction. But I just look at where his ADP is in leagues right now. That'll obviously end up going up, but I think he'll end up being like a great value. I know there's some history on this. I just don't see him getting like a massive, massive suspension, just considering how long this has kind of lingered on. But if you look at Kamara, since 2017, like he's averaged nearly 18 touches and nearly 20 fantasy points per game. I know last year was down a bit, especially from an efficiency standpoint. But just to close the loop on this thought, like once you look at Derek Carr now under center for the Saints, they're more consistent or have more consistency, I'll say, at the quarterback position. But when you look at their schedule, the Saints have a very favorable schedule. This is a team that I could see from a betting perspective, easily, getting to the 10 win mark. And I think that translates very well for fantasy with Kamara and that Saints offense. So now I do love Kamara where he's available right now in drafts. I know that'll go up, but I think he'll be someone that'll end up drafting even more, even as we see that steady rise of his ADP. So I think he's in a good spot.
I'm going to say something maybe a little unpopular, especially with so many slow drafts going on right now.
Yeah.
I am incapable of doing this because my pick comes up and I can't stop thinking about it till I make it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is why you take most of your time in a slow draft during this point in the season. News like this is dropping on the hour, and it can affect a player's ADP and their value for the season by multiple rounds. Mm-hmm. If you had just drafted a different running back in the 5th round, and then this news dropped and Alvin Kamara was sitting there, you would be kicking yourself. As if you had given yourself that extra hour, even with all your league mates yelling at you to make your pick, you had this little bit of extra information to help you out. So again, I'm incapable. I'm too impatient, but this is why I'll never get mad at people milking the clock in a slow draft, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
We got Scott Fish in here, said, I'm early today, so now I'll be tweeting from a few minutes ahead of time.
Whoa. Let us know who wins.
We got Albert in here saying, hello, everyone. What's up, Albert?
Hello, Albert.
And Scampers with a good afternoon, beautiful FYFers. And Moody.
Scampers.
And the chat is hyped to see you. Grim in here with the Moody. Albert in here with the Moody. And Dame coming in with the hello, good people. Well, hello to the good people out there and the bad people as well. We got Maria in here saying, all-star guest today.
Thanks.
And we got Ladarius coming in to say hi as well. So good afternoon.
What up, Ladarius?
Awesome guest.
Jason in the chat. What's going on?
Game. Man, we got a full house out here today.
Dude.
Also, Jail, we got your Jeopardy statistics for you. You have 16 wins and 35 losses in Jeopardy, which is not...
Played a lot, though. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I think there's usually
That's a lot of losses.
Usually 3 contestants, so about a third of the time being winners.
That's a good point. I forgot about that.
So it's pretty good.
Say
also,
more things that I like.
We have our high score in here, Moody, just so you know. 4,600 is the high score. Herms and JL share it.
Wow.
So that is the number to beat.
Feels like a team score should be different.
Also, Maria came in here and said, yes, get the kiddos some Slurpees. And this is coming from a teacher, so now you have to, Moody.
That's the law.
They're gonna be sugared up. I guess sooner rather than later, right? Just sooner than later. So.
Sooner rather than later.
Also, Scampers corrected me with the fiance. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to that word. That's my bad. Did not mean to say girlfriend. And I see Kaysen down here with the yo.
Good up, Kaysen.
What up, Kaysen? Welcome in, my friend. Well, guys, like we mentioned, we brought Moody on today to play some Fantasy Football Jeopardy for him to defend his undefeated Jeopardy record, 3-0. Before we get into that, a couple reminders, though. First and foremost, John Luke is claiming he's going to win. But second most, if you're not already following our guest, Eric N. Moody on Twitter, go and fix that right now. He's on Twitter at Eric N. Moody. Not only are you going to get your fantasy football insights, but right now, during the WNBA season, you can go and get some WNBA insights from Moody as well.
Year-round nostalgia.
Nonstop.
Yeah, that tweet about the Hangover is it's going viral, so that should be interesting. So if you have an opinion on if the Hangover is the best comedy, I think, over the last 20 years is what I tweeted out, feel free to join in on the fun. I've gotten some very hot takes and opinions on that tweet, so join in on the fun, right?
The top comedy movie of the last decade?
I think I tweeted 20 years. It was
20 years?
Yeah.
Moody, you're tripping.
I'm going to say the most – oh, man.
Tripping,
it's
bro.
Tough.
It's a good movie. I like that movie, but best movie?
Best comedy.
Best comedy movie?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Borat. I'm going to say Borat's the best
Borat's
comedy of
pretty
the
good.
last 20 years. I rewatched it recently, and that movie holds.
Is that more than 20 years?
That might be more than
How
20
old am
years
I?
ago.
I have no idea.
I can't remember what
Whoa.
movie now.
Well, guys, after you go give Moody your opinion on whether or not The Hangover is the best comedy movie of all time, come back over here. And if you're watching us on the Front Yard Fantasy YouTube channel or that Better Sports Network YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, and that little notification bell is the easiest way to make sure you don't miss us every day, Monday through Friday at our new old time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's just our new time at this point. It's our old new time.
Yeah, old, new, old.
All right. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and pull up this game board, and we are going to get started with our game of Jeopardy ever so shortly here. I'll explain the rules, explain the categories, and then we'll get going.
I don't want to put this poll in the chat to see who's going to win today. I don't want to start the game off with what I know the result's going to be.
Well, JL, when there's no expectations, you have nowhere to go but up.
There you go.
When everyone thinks you're going to lose, all you do is do what you thought they were going to do or prove them all wrong. Nobody's
You're at rock bottom.
All right, well, guys, the game today is Fantasy Football Jeopardy. If you've ever seen the popular TV show Jeopardy, it's going to go a lot like that, except instead of buzzing in, players are going to be answering questions in turn order. Now, there are a couple changes from the regular game. First and foremost, almost all of these questions are going to be about the NFL or fantasy football. Next, there's going to be no negative points if you get a question incorrect. So on your turn, if you get your question wrong, no points are going to be subtracted. And then the last change that we're making here is if you get your question right, you're going to get to pick the category for the person that goes after you. So Moody, you're going to have free reign of this board to start the game. And if you get that question right, you'll get to tell JL which category he has to go under. He'll still get to pick his point values, but the category is the choice of the successful question answerer. We will go like this till we run out of questions, run out of time, or I run out of deodorant, at which point we are going to go into our final Jeopardy question. I'll give you a category, and you're going to write down a wager. This is the one and only question in the game where you can lose money. If you get that last question right, you're going to add all that money to your score. If you get it wrong, we're subtracting all of it. And whoever has the most money at the end of Final Jeopardy is our champion for today. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it. I think
JL ran away. He's scared. I'll explain the categories while we're waiting for him to get some courage. The first category is mixed signals. I'm going to show you a picture of a referee signal. You're going to have to tell me what penalty or what call that is for. This is coming from the official NFL rulebook. We've got divisional accolades. These is going to be the best of some category within a division. I'll give you the division and the category. You tell me who was the best at it. Grab bag is going to be anything. Friend or foe. This was a category made by our friend Jay. These are going to be NFL logos that may look familiar to you, but something's going to be changed. You're going to have to tell me which one is the real logo and which one is the fake. You identify the real one, you'll get the points there. And then last but not least, we have name that Eric. So name that Eric. I'm going to show you a picture of an Eric, real or fictional. You have to tell me who that Eric is. Get it right, you'll add the points. Get it wrong, you will not.
Will we know the Eric?
You should know the Eric, but I guess if you don't, then that's where you won't get the points.
Yeah, that's going to be a difficult one.
Shout out to our friend Dustin for the mixed signals category. He sent over the pictures and the idea for that one. It's going to be a fun one.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, Moody, you've got first crack at this board. Where do you want to go?
Yeah, these are a little bit different than the ones that we've had before. It's been a while. I know what I was curious about mixed signals. Why don't we go with mixed signals for 200?
Mixed signals for 200.
Yeah.
Moody, what is this the signal for? Illegal Irish dancing, tripping, or illegal forward pass?
Dude, Alex Collins would have got wrecked by illegal Irish dancing. Just wrecked.
Okay, then maybe. Hey, can we go back in time and can I change that? Oh boy, that's a tough one. I definitely know it's not illegal Irish dancing, legal forward pass.
Definitely no.
So I'm gonna go with tripping. It looks like for tripping, so I'll go with tripping there.
Moody, you would be absolutely correct. This is the official NFL signal for tripping.
Yeah.
It looks very silly when isolated in just a single graphic. That's going to add 200 points to your round score. And I was going to make you guys then act out the positions, but for the sake of time, we're not going to be able to do that. I apologize.
That's fair.
That's funny.
I did like that position for what it's worth.
Jay down here guessed Boot, Scoot, and Boogie. Now that is the answer to one of the later questions. So thanks for the spoiler.
500.
Jay.
Let me write that down.
All right. Well, Moody, you get to select JL's next category. Where do you want to send him?
You know what?
One day you'll find a note, Moody, that just says Boot, Scoot, and Boogie, and you'll have no idea what it means, what it's referring to.
I guess, let's have some fun. As Michael Keaton said in Batman and in The Flash, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. So let's go and name that Eric for JL here. I'm curious about this one. Let's do it.
400.
400 and name that Eric.
That is Eric Clapton.
Final answer?
Yeah.
John Luke, that is Eric Clapton. That's going to get you 400 points.
He looks so different when he's not bald.
I immediately saw that and I was like, yeah, that's like a photo from Cream era Eric Clapton. I was like, gave JL a gimme there. Man, I may have to go to that category now.
You knew that one?
I did. I knew it within like a second of it popping up. I was like, wow.
Dang, I don't think I've ever seen that photo. I'm used to older photos of him.
I got that one from Reddit r/oldschoolcool. Was someone posted that picture of Clapton. Mr. Scamper's in here getting that one right. Maria getting it right as well. Dustin getting it too. And then Graham with the guess of Eric Greenspan. Different Eric. And I'm not sure who that Eric is.
Fun fact, that guy. I've never been to an Eric Clapton concert, but I've seen many of them on DVD.
Wow. Do you own the box set?
My dad does. If there is one, he owns it.
Moody, have you ever been to an Eric Clapton concert?
I have not. I've not been able to see Eric Clapton. I'm a huge Cream fan, so I like Eric Clapton and Jack Bruce and Ginger Baker because of that. I've seen a lot of DVDs, but have not had the pleasure of attending a live show.
Dang,
JL and Moody, you guys got to combine your Clapton DVD collections and have a marathon.
I know, right?
Let's do it.
All right, Dustin confirming definitely Cream Eric Clapton up there, and Tim said Eric Golf Clapton.
I don't like when you guys say Cream Eric Clapton. I don't know why. I just don't like it.
Ooh, yeah. Well, thanks a lot, JL, for making that sound.
Cream Eric Clapton.
John Luke, you got that one right, taking an early lead. Where are you sending Moody for his next question?
We're going.
All right, let's send Moody to divisional accolades.
All right. So let's see. I guess I will go with let's go with 200 there. I'm unsure about this one, but we'll see.
200. Which AFC East running back had the most PPR fantasy points in 2022? Was it Devin Singletary, Ramondre Stevenson, or Raheem Mostert?
Okay, most fantasy points. Oh man, AFC East, Singletary, Stevenson. Okay, for this one, Ramondre.
Ramondre Stevenson is absolutely correct, Moody, with 249.1 to Devin Singletary's 178.2 as the next closest. That's going to add another $200 to your round bank. Moody, I did want to ask you about Ramondre because I know I'm not alone in still having some trust issues with New England running backs. It seems like just when we think we can trust one for fantasy, Bill Belichick does something crazy. Is this the mold breaker for the New England running back? Is Ramondre Stevenson going to have another consistent year as one of these top level guys?
No, I believe that he will because they ended up parting ways with Damian Harris. He doesn't really have much competition in the backfield, and I'm like he's lethal. Obviously, as a runner in between the tackles and as a receiver out of the backfield. So I do believe he'll get a consistent number of touches, week in and week out. And then you think about with him in the red zone, as a touchdown scorer. So I really like Stevenson, and he's someone I'm very comfortable drafting at his ADP, and I'm trying to get him on a lot of teams this year. So no, I'm buying it.
Uh-oh.
Jill, we were talking earlier about some concerns we had for Dameon Pierce, running back, Houston Texans. Does the addition of Devin Singletary to that offense add to those concerns, or are the concerns more a draft capital and usage base?
They certainly add to them. I think both of those cases you mentioned are true. It definitely adds more ambiguity for Dameon Pierce, who is already dealing with a lot of ambiguity. His spot is not secure on that team. And I would be nervous if I'm a Dameon Pierce manager or I'm bought in on Dameon Pierce. There's a lot of risk and not a lot of evidence to support that this is going to, like what we saw for a flash last year, is going to be sustained going forward.
Moody, are you approaching the Houston backfield in a similar way this year?
I am, because I'm not aggressively targeting Damian Pierce in drafts because JL brought up some really good points. It's like you're looking at someone who may end up getting somewhere between 250 to 260 touches. And so, depending on his efficiency, I'm like, he may not be able to finish higher than like a mid range RB2. So, again, not someone I'm aggressively targeting.
I'm with you guys. And with a rookie quarterback under center, most likely there, you can imagine there's going to be a lot of tension on the run game from opposing defenses.
Oh, yeah.
We got Craig down here saying FYF is still in its cream era, too. The FYF cream era.
Mm-hmm.
And Scampers, with a PSA for everyone, if you or your loved ones were exposed to cream era Clapton, you may be entitled to a settlement.
Mesothelioma.
Call Garofalo, Moody, and Grunewald, associates at law.
This has got to be some producer out there who's made like a beat out of that mesothelioma commercial.
That mesothelioma commercial won me an academic bowl match one time. It just started playing. The question was about, the answer was mesothelioma. I forget what it was related to, but it was some sort of lung disease question. I was like, I saw this at 3 a.m. when I couldn't sleep. All right. Well, we're going to move on to our next question here. Moody tied the game up, but you get to pick JL's next category. Where are you sending him?
Let's go with grab bag.
Let's go with 300. Right in dead center.
Right in the middle. In the song Low by Flo Rida, how many times does Shawty get low in the following line? She hit the floor. Next thing you know, Shawty got
low, 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 low. 8.
8?
Yep.
8 is absolutely correct, JL. Shawty got low 8 times. Shout out to our friend Dustin for this question as well. JL, that's going to earn you an additional 300, and you know your Flo Rida.
Whew, yes, I do.
That's one of my most embarrassing moments was whenever I realized in like 2015 that Flo Rida spelled Florida.
Oh no.
Like it was a long time before I realized that. And I looked at it and then I saw his album cover just with the neon outline and I was like, oh no.
You know what? Shout out to him for seeing that though. Because I feel like somebody should have seen that before him.
Right.
and ruined that.
Maybe he even just accidentally like pressed space while he was typing in like his details on his Facebook.
Wait.
Oh, I like the look of that. Well, John Luke, that is going to add 300 points to your score, and you get to pick Moody's next category. Where are you sending him?
Am I going?
Let's send Moody to Mixed Signals.
Mixed Signals. He liked that one the first time. Which value would you like, Moody?
Let's see. Yeah, why don't we just keep it interesting? Let's go with 300 then.
Tim was there for the moment that I learned that. He can confirm that fact. 300 in Mixed Signals. Moody, what is this the signal for? Intentional grounding, invalid fair catch signal, or an eligible receiver?
Ooh. Okay.
I can zoom
in. All
right,
I'm gonna. No, it's fine. I'm just gonna go with my gut. You know, when you kind of thinking of something, you're like, you just want to make sure that it's that intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
The arrows right here are the secret because otherwise it looks like he's just measuring something.
There's yarn on his fingers.
Okay. Yeah. I was wondering. I was like, it's so different looking at a still photo instead of them doing the motion. So thank you for that tip because I was not paying attention to the arrows.
I thought he was doing one of those yarn Eiffel Towers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was doing like a party trick for people. Like, look what I can do with string. And now stick your hand through the middle and I'll pull it and it will just disappear.
And it'll squeeze you a little.
I think they're implementing that in 2024, JL, if I'm not mistaken. That's not being implemented in this year's rule book.
Okay.
Well, Moody, that is going to add an additional 300 points, tying you with JL. You know your referee signals so far.
It looks like that ref's trying to catch, like signal like he's trying to catch something. What?
Throw me the roll.
Ineligible receiver.
Moody, where are you sending John Luke for his next category?
You know, it was very intriguing with that song about Shawty and Florida. I was like, if that would have been me, I would have had no idea what the answer was. So we're going to go back to grab bag because that was entertaining.
Oh, I hope this whole entire grab bag category is Flo Rida.
I wish I would have done that.
All right, let's go with 400.
400.
Big money.
Which of the following Canadian Football League teams did I make up?
Football League?
There's a Canadian Football League, and most of these teams are real. The Hamilton Tiger Cats, the Ottawa Red Blacks, the Vancouver Belugas, the Calgary Stampeders, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, or the Edmonton Elks? All of these are real Canadian Football League teams except for one.
Wow. Has Vancouver even got any belugas? Where are belugas even at?
The Georgia Aquarium for
North?
Sure.
Definitely in Atlanta, yeah. Calgary Stampeders sounds dumb. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, dumb. Edmonton Elks, that could be real. Ottawa Red Blacks, what does that mean? Let's go with Ottawa Red Blacks.
Final answer?
So hard to say, yeah.
JL, you almost sniffed it out right away. It was the Vancouver Belugas are not the real team. And the chat was on this one. Mostly
they knew it?
Jay, Craig, Dame, and Dustin all getting this one. We had a couple, JL, you weren't alone though. Grim thought it was Ottawa as well. And then we had our friend Misery in here guessing Elks.
Elks was my first thought just because the alliteration, I thought you were trying to throw me off. Like it blends in nice enough. It might just fade into the background.
I put it in there as the red herring. Like it was too simple that maybe you would overthink it and pick that one. Also, Scampers down here, Moody, letting you know that Tropic Thunder is the answer to your tweet. That's funny, the best comedy.
Because Tropic Thunder has come up quite a bit. It's been very intriguing looking at some of these responses for that. But then Game Night has come up probably the most. I haven't seen that, so maybe I need to find out where that's streaming and watch it. So we'll see, right?
Craig down here saying I've bet on more CFL games than I'd like to admit.
How much would you like to admit?
Also, I see people asking what the Ottawa Red Blacks means, and I have no idea. Not a single clue. I just saw that was their official team name, and that is all I know. But, JL, unfortunately, no point added to your score on that one. And, Moody, this is your opportunity to take the lead. You got free reign of the board. You can go wherever you'd like. What's it going to be?
Yeah, where I would like to go right now, let's go to Name That Eric. Let's have some fun. Let's go at 500. Go big or go home. Let's do it.
Okay. Name.
Oh, come on. Come on.
I wasn't expecting this to be a 500 option, but you know what? I will take it. That is Eric Ebron.
That is Eric Ebron. I thought because he hasn't played, he's not active right now. Maybe his face would have been out of the minds of you guys, but you were on top of it.
He's the only Eric tight end that we know.
That doesn't say that he's a tight end in the photo. I guess he looks like a tight end.
Yeah.
Moody, that's going to add 500 to your score. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you miss Eric Ebron?
Well, I did miss that season that he had with the Colts. I'm like, he outperformed his ADP that year. A lot of touchdowns from what I recall. But other than that, I can't say I've really thought about Eric Ebron until this game. So, sorry.
Maybe a 2.
That's totally valid.
Sorry, Eric.
He hasn't thought of you.
Sorry. All right, well, Moody, you get to pick JL's next category. Where are you sending JL?
Yeah, let's send JL. I want to send him back to grab bag.
Okay. 500, Simon.
Okay, 500. Here we go. What is the name of the part of the heart labeled with the question marks below? Is that the aorta, the mitral valve, the right atrium, or the left ventricle? That is this section of the heart right here that is being pointed to.
Okay. All right. That don't look like no aorta. Maybe. Wait, okay, it's flowing out. Oh, okay. So this is the outbound guy. Who goes outbound? Left ventricle or right atrium? This looks more like an atrium than a ventricle, I think, because of the little curve, the little rightward curve. So let's go with the right atrium.
Right atrium is incorrect. That is an aorta.
Straight up aorta.
It's straight up an aorta.
I wasn't getting an aorta vibe from it.
Well, neither was the chat. We had multiple mitral valve guesses on this one, and Scampers agreeing with you, thinking that it was the right atrium.
Are you sure this isn't Eric Ebron's heart?
This is Eric Ebron's heart, and actually, in most hearts, that is the right atrium, JL. But Eric Ebron has a special heart.
Oh,
it's unique.
So just like him,
it's what made him such a great tight end.
Wow.
All right. Well, JL,
no idea.
Unfortunately, you didn't study your heart enough in anatomy class.
No, spent too long staring at Eric Ebron, I guess.
And then you got that question instead.
Yeah.
Moody, you got free reign of the board again. Where do you want to go?
You know what? I had fun going with Name That Eric. Let's go back there once again. Let's do it. Let's go for 300.
300. Name That Eric.
I'm just chuckling because of the Jerry curl and the style back then. The goggle shades. That's a recognizable look, and probably a look we'll never see again. That's is it Eric Dickerson, right?
That is the legendary Eric Dickerson, Hall of Famer. You're going to add points for that one, and that was
300.
God, I was finding so many cool pictures of typing in these older players, Eric Dickerson, Eric Clapton. It was just like too many cool pictures to pick for each of those guys, and I had to just pick one. The chat was all over this one with Eric Dickerson. I see Jay saying should be a 100. JL, did you know that was Eric Dickerson?
No, not a clue.
Okay. CJ, that's why it was not a $100 question. I will never put like a retired player as the 100. All right, Moody, that's adding 300 to your score, bringing you up to 1,500, and you get to pick JL's next category. Where are you sending him?
So I'm going to send him back to grab bag because I'm going to implement some strategery here since it's only you can get a max 200 points. So we're going back to grab bag. I'm sorry, JL. You can text me about this later, all right, man?
I'm going to be very upset. I'm going to send you they're going to be nice words, but they're going to have some mean undertones.
But they're going to be written on his feet.
Yeah. Good luck reading. All right, 200. Grab bag. Let's go.
All right. Spell the word given to you by myself and pictured below. JL, the word I need you to spell is charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
Like the charcuterie board pictured below in the photograph.
Okay. CHARCUT. TERIE.
Okay. JL, what I have written down that you said is CHARCUTERIE. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Well, we will see, JL. The correct answer is CHARCUTERIE. You spell charcuterie 100% correct, adding 200 points to your score.
That is impressive, my man.
John, nice. I know you're a vegetarian, but I also don't eat like salami meats or anything that you could ever put on a charcuterie board that comes from an animal. Where do you stand on the charcuterie board as a party accoutrement?
Oh, I am pro charcuterie. I enjoy the grapes. I enjoy the crackers. The crackers are always typically perfectly timed to where I'm hungry, but dinner is not ready. So give me like a handful of those crackers, just drive by, grab them, skip the line. We good to go, baby.
Moody, are you pro charcuterie or anti charcuterie?
No, I'm pro charcuterie. Yeah, I haven't had a scene or been at a party where they've had a board in quite a while, but yeah, I'm not against it. I'm game.
Where do we stand on crudité?
Bless you.
Thank you.
What is that? The one with vegetables?
That's the one with vegetables. Yeah.
The raw vegetables with a bowl of ranch dip in the middle,
and was also something that a contestant had to spell on this game show at one point in time.
Crudité
was
the hell out of here. Give me some grapes and some cheese and some crackers.
You don't like veggies?
Right. I like veggies, but like I don't want broccoli, just like a plate of celery and raw cauliflower.
You got ranch. Dip that bad boy.
And it's still raw cauliflower underneath.
It's good, especially with the broccoli.
Yeah, it sounds delicious. I don't get it.
Man, I am pro charcuterie unless it's being given as a meal replacement. It needs to be a meal accompaniment or a meal before. There's like restaurants.
You're good, right?
Like charcuterie restaurants. Just throw that in front of you. We had some answers in the chat. Scamper's getting this one right. Jay so close with his spelling. Charmander. And then Dustin coming in with the charcuterie.
That is the most enjoyable name to hear Simon say.
Charcuterie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, John Lee,
the doodlery really like whips the end of that name. Doodlery. I like it.
It sounds sweet and disgusting at the same time. It sounds so pleasant, but also like kind of.
You don't want to look at it.
Mm-hmm. John Luke, you got that one right by spelling charcuterie correct. Where are you sending Moody?
Let's send Moody. You know what? Let's do Moody the same favor he's done me 16 times and send him to grab bag.
Oh man.
Moody, the $100 question is yours. It's the only one left.
All right.
Which U.S. state produces the most potatoes annually? Is it Washington, Oregon, Idaho, or Wisconsin?
Tricky.
It is tricky because you're sitting there thinking that potatoes, that it would just be Idaho.
Heaven?
No, Idaho.
True.
It's in Oregon. I guess I'll just have to go with my gut on this. It may not be correct, but I would just go with Idaho.
Moody, your gut is correct. It is, in fact, Idaho. Thought it might be a little tricky, that you might overthink that one.
Can you imagine if Oregon was like, actually, it's us?
We're exactly. The potato state. I could see it being some kind of, where that's exactly what I was worried about. What could happen? But anyway, I digress.
That is like the peach state. Georgia's called the peach state, but South Carolina produces the most peaches. Makes more peaches than Georgia. Georgia should be the peanut state. They're making or the goober state.
Roasted.
That's what they're making the most of.
Goobers?
Goober is another word for a peanut, right?
Not that I've heard, but
maybe I made that up.
I believe you.
Maybe I didn't.
I believe you.
Moody, you got that one right. You know your potatoes. Where are you sending John Luke for his next category?
Yeah, we're just gonna go back to Name That Eric. Let's do it.
All right, John Luke, 1 or 2?
Let's go with 2.
2 and Name That Eric. Name that Eric.
That is Eric Cartman.
That is Eric Cartman from the show South Park Jail. Going to add 200 points to your score. And you get to pick Moody's next category.
Ooh, let's finish out this Name That Eric.
All right.
Yeah, one more. Moody, he keeps sticking you with the 100s.
No, he does, man.
I need you to name that Eric.
That's an easy one. Eric Billamy.
Well, it is a $100 question, and you got it 100% right.
Nice.
That is Eric Bieniemy. And I did want to ask you, Moody, about
what's up,
Eric Bieniemy and his impact on this Washington Commanders offense. Are you expecting any big changes, or maybe some players more fantasy relevant with the addition of Bieniemy there?
Yeah, it's I'm excited about his addition. Obviously, Terry McLaurin, is someone who, we expected to have a breakout season last year. I still like where he's going in drafts this year. And, Jahan Dotson, we got glimpses of what he's capable of. So those are 2 guys that they're comfortable drafting. Where I would see things getting very intriguing, especially with Bieniemy's addition, would be like the running back position. You've got, of course, Brian Robinson there, and you've got Antonio Gibson. I'm actually more optimistic about Antonio Gibson's outlook this season. He's someone that, I like targeting and recommend others target in drafts. So I think this Washington offense will surprise people. It's not going to be like a fantasy football bonanza like the Kansas City Chiefs, but you've got a number of fantasy relevant players, including, guys like Sam Howell, if you're in a super flex league that you can get as a QB2 or QB3. He does have, I would say, kind of hidden or under the radar rushing upside too, with how he scrambles and moves out of the pocket. So again, I like his addition. I think it'll pay dividends this year.
John Luke, as someone who just drafted Sam Howell and Scott Fishbowl, tell me how smart I am and why Eric Bieniemy is the reason for that.
I am not someone who just drafted Sam Howell and Scott Fishbowl, but you are, and you are so smart for doing that. Because guess what? Exactly what Moody said is this entire Washington offense, all of their values being suppressed right now. Mm-hmm. And that typically is indicative of value. If we see an entire team just being discounted by fantasy, the math says probably there's going to be value. There's going to be fantasy points there. And I think there's enough pieces on this offense for them to be able to do something with.
I'm with you. And if we're excited for Jahan Dotson, if we're excited for Terry McLaurin, if we're excited for one of Brian Robinson or Antonio Gibson, then there has to be some excitement for Sam Howell, especially with the rushing that he could add. But we'll see. That is not one of the most secure jobs in the league either. We'll see if he can hold on to it.
What is the most secure job? Roger Goodell. Never mind. Carry on. Next question.
Moody, you got that one right. Adding $100 to your score, bringing you up to $1,700. And you get to pick Jail's next category. Where would you like to send him?
Well, we haven't gone to, was it friend or foe?
Oh, all right. Let's go with that. Let's go with 500.
Mr. Scamford just came in before this. He said friend or foe is getting the finger. Well, Jail's going for 500, trying to come back here. John Luke, which one of these logos is the real Broncos logo? I can zoom in on them individually for you. Here is option 1. Here is option 2. And here is option 3.
Okay, can you zoom out so I can see the difference between A and C?
Yes.
What is different between those two?
A has the fully filled in pupil. C has the non-fully filled in pupil.
Oh.
B
can you go
has,
zoom back in on it? The B one's freaking me out with the light eyes. It's just really unnatural. All right, this one, can you zoom in? Can you zoom in even more? Can you keep
no,
zooming?
I'm not going to get it down to the pixel level for you, JL, so you can try to see where Jay edited these photos.
Well, let's go with C. That one looks like a dot. A's a dot. I'm going with C.
Final answer?
Yeah.
All right, JL, well, you sniffed it out. It is, in fact, C with the pupil in the middle. That's going to add $500.
Jay's lazy ass just put a couple dots on there.
I'm not zooming in that far next time. You got one over on me.
It really was not hard to tell, even zoomed out.
Maybe it was harder zoomed in right there. Also, we got Scott Fish in here saying, great show, everyone. Can't believe the finish. Well, I can't wait to see it either. Scampers was the only one in the chat getting this one right with C. Grimfan thought it was B. Said, look at the eyes.
Look at the eyes. I couldn't stop looking at the eyes.
A. Well, John Luke, you know your Broncos. But what do you think about the Broncos this year? Is Sean Payton going to turn that team around?
I think he has a good shot to turn this team around. The pieces are there. Before he took this job, the reports coming out in the media were that he was being very selective about where he wanted to coach next. If he was going to come back out of that cushy booth, then he needed to have a place where he was comfortable. I think his first choice was the Rams, if I'm not mistaken, because he really liked LA for some reason after he moved out there. But he made this choice to go to Denver. And what that tells me is that he saw enough pieces here to work with. He saw a system that he could work with, and we've seen him do that before. So, yeah, I think it's likely that he'll be able to turn this team around.
All right. Well, John Luke, you get to pick Moody's next category as well. Where do you want to send your friend Moody? He has an ever so slight lead on you right now.
All right. Let's send Moody to mixed signals.
All right. Mixed signals. All right. Let's go 500. Yeah, let's try to build a little bit of a lead here.
500. Moody, okay. What I need to know is which one of these is the signal for loss of down.
Wow, maybe I shouldn't have done 500. Wow. Okay, less. Wow. Okay. All right. Got a time machine here. Wow.
Hey, Macarena.
Okay, loss of down. So, are there any arrows on here? I don't see any arrows. So. Wow.
I don't see any arrows either. These all seem to be fairly static.
Where is the yarn?
Yeah, where is the
yarn? 2024.
Okay, let me. Man, I'm kind of kicking myself here. Okay, all right. Let's ride, as Russell Wilson would say, right? I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go with A. It's kind of for me between like A and D. But I'm gonna go with A.
Well, Moody, you would be absolutely correct. A is the official signal in the NFL for a loss of down.
What?
These other four are something else entirely that I forgot to write down and remember.
I like the one guy in the middle who's just facing the wrong way.
Like,
I knew it.
Frank,
I knew it.
Turn the hell around.
What are you doing, man? We're doing the lineup thing right now. Come on.
Wow. Sorry, guys. And he's doing the classic, guess how many fingers I'm holding up, kids. Guess how many fingers I'm holding up.
We can see them, Jeff.
Stanford's in here said C is so secretive. And Jay guessed C. Grimfan also guessed C.
Really?
Scampers said LOL at A. So they were not on that one. Moody, you saw straight through that. The chat was struggling with that one.
It's tough. It's tough, man.
It's weird looking at him out of context.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Moody, you get to pick Jail's next category after that. Where are you sending him? A lot of high values still left on this board.
Yeah, I guess I'm just going back to mixed signals.
All right, 400.
Yeah.
400 and mixed signals. John Luke, what is the signal for? A legal block below the waist, no timeout, or an eligible member of kicking team downfield?
Ooh, I think this is a legal block below the waist.
Final answer?
No. Ineligible member of kicking team downfield. Why would he be thrusting into himself like that? Why in the world would he be making that motion? And why does he have a balled fist right now? I can't imagine a balled fist is the motion. All right, let's go with illegal block below the waist.
All right, well, John Luke, you would be absolutely correct, even though I put the same image in there for the answer. It is an illegal block below the waist is the correct answer on that one. Nice job, John Luke. And the meaning of this signal changes based on whether you hit the front of your thigh with a fist or the outside of your legs with a fist or with an open hand. Don't ask me what those mean. I need to go study the rule book.
They just mean different things.
Austin thought this was stab to the thigh.
Stab to the thigh.
Thought this was seppuku. Nice. That is not the symbol for seppuku. That's with the open hand, not with the closed hand.
It wouldn't be that low, I don't think.
And Grim fan said it's also the sign for I got the crap. So that's why everyone was confused when Lamar Jackson did that on the sideline. They thought he was calling for an illegal block below the waist, but really he just had to relieve himself.
I thought you meant the craps, like you're playing in Vegas, craps. He's got the craps.
Well, John Luke, I almost forgot to add your points there, though. Got you up to $2,000, and you get to pick Moody's next category. Where are you sending Moody?
Oh, this is a game. Let's go. Make signals.
It's just getting interesting here. Let's see what we have on this one.
All right, Moody. What is this the signal for? Nice bracelet, illegal wrist attachment, or holding?
Wow, I'm chuckling because I was like, illegal wrist attachment, nice bracelet. Now this is truly a 100-point question, so it's holding. I was like, it's very creative.
Illegal Inspector Gadget.
This is in fact holding. This is not the symbol for illegal wrist attachment.
You know what, Simon? I think they added those other ones just to mesmerize people to say them. Like, it's nice bracelet. wait, no, wait, no. All right.
Half the NFL players get the rule book that tells them that means nice bracelet, so they really just think they're getting a compliment every time the referees do that at them. Moody, you get to pick JL's next category. Where are you sending him?
Yeah, we'll see. The funny thing would be if someone actually wore like a nice bracelet, expecting the referee to say, "Hey, nice bracelet, right? Nice bracelet."
I've seen some nice watches out there on the field. There's been like $50,000 watches on the NFL field. They probably deserve a nice bracelet or two.
Wow. All right. So it's tough. I guess we'll just go to the friend or foe.
All right. Friend or foe, 400.
Yeah. Let's just do it.
Okay, John Luke. Which one of these is the real Dolphins logo?
B.
Final answer?
Yes.
The correct answer is BJL. B is the correct answer. That's going to add 400 points to your score and give you the ever so slight lead. You get to pick Moody's next category, though. Where are you sending him?
All right, let's give Moody a shot here. We'll go divisional accolades.
Okay, Moody, what's it going to be?
Let's go with 500. Let's try to build a lead again.
What I want to know is which NFC East head coach has the most career regular season wins? Is it Mike McCarthy, Brian Daboll, Nick Sirianni, or Ron Rivera? So this is career regular season wins, not just with the team they're with, obviously.
Yeah, so just as a head coach. Okay.
Correct, and also just as a head coach, not as a coordinator.
You know what? My gut says Mike McCarthy, just considering the quarterbacks he had. So I'm gonna go with Mike McCarthy.
It is in fact Mike McCarthy. I thought with Ron Rivera in there, it might be tricky, but Ron Rivera
it
was
is
second.
Tricky. Yeah, it is tricky because it was seriously down between those two. But yeah, I just kind of went with the quarterback play because Green Bay has been great during the regular season. But yeah, all right, we're cooking
as well. Grim fan said Rivera. We also had Riverboat from Scampers, Riverboat Ron from Victor, but then a couple McCarthys from Craig and Jay. Nice job. Oh, and Dustin as well, following the same logic, said McCarthy or Rivera. I'll go McCarthy. Pulled the right one. Moody, that's going to add 500, giving you the lead back, but it is close. And you guys both have a shot at the high score today. Moody, where are you sending JL?
I guess let's stay with divisional accolades. Excuse me. Yeah, we'll stay in divisional accolades.
All right, let's go 400.
400, here we go. Which AFC North player had the most receiving first downs in 2022? Was it Jamar Chase, Amari Cooper, Mark Andrews, or T. Higgins?
Amari Cooper.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that one right so fast. It was Amari Cooper. Jamar Chase was close behind him, but Amari Cooper did edge him out ever so slightly. You're going to tie this game up now, 2,800 to 2,800, and you get to pick Moody's last category or next category. Where are you sending them?
All right, divisional accolades.
All right, here we go again. Let's do it.
This is a fun game, Moody.
Let's just go big.
I'm so stressed right now.
Go 300.
300. Here we go. Which NFC East player had the most rushing first downs in 2022? Was it Ezekiel Elliott, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, or Jalen Hurts?
Wow. Rushing first downs. Rushing first downs. I'm going with I'll go with Saquon Barkley.
Final answer?
Don't feel good about it, but yes.
Unfortunately, barely edging him out by 5. It was Jalen Hurts with 67 rushing first downs last season.
It was close.
Saquon Barkley second with 62, but Daniel Jones not far behind with 57 down there either. So in Scott Fishbowl, these quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts and Daniel Jones, aren't bad options with the little boost they get for those rushing first downs. We had some Hurts answers in the chat from Mr. Scampers, Grimfan, and Victor. Nice job getting that one, guys. And JL,
right.
Moody gave you a window. What are you going to do with it? Which question would you like?
All right, I'll go friend or foe, 300, please.
Friend or foe, 300.
Oh, no.
And Luke, which one of these Steelers logos is the real Steelers logo?
All right, JL, you got this. You got this. All right.
This one.
Design principles would say they're going to put the lighter color higher because it's more similar to the sun, so it looks more natural to people. So let's go with A.
Final answer?
Yes.
JL, you know your design principles. It is A. They put the yellow one up top, earning you 300, giving you the lead, and you get to pick where you're sending Moody. In fact, for his last question, where would you like to send Moody?
Divisional accolades.
All right.
Put him in that corner.
All right, divisional accolades. Which NFC North wide receiver had the most PPR fantasy points in 2022?
All right.
Justin Jefferson, Christian Watson, or Darnell Mooney?
Just making sure, I'm obviously Jefferson, just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything because this is tight. So, wide receiver, most fantasy points. Making sure you're not doing any trickery either. Like if it's not an NFC North wide receiver, Simon, I gotta watch out for you, man.
It's the mustache. It's the
I don't know what it is.
It's the attempt at the mustache.
It's the dirty, gross mustache.
All right, so Justin Jefferson.
No trick this time. It is Justin Jefferson by almost double the amount of points, more than double the amount of points.
Could have been Moody.
But see, that's the hesitation. If it's just like if he only has like, if they're not matching the right division. So that's kind of why my mind is like,
That would be something I would do is throw like an AFC North wide receiver in there and see if you were paying attention.
Yeah.
Well, Moody, I was going to say you get to pick JL's last category, but there's only one category left. JL, you get to pick your value, though, 100 or 200 to end this regular round out.
200, please.
200.
Right.
Which one of these is the real Colts logo?
B.
John Luke, it is B. That's going to add an additional 200, giving you an ever so slight lead as we go into our final round. JL has 3,300. Moody has 2,900. Your category for Final Jeopardy is NFL Draft Capital. NFL Draft Capital. So, yeah, if you can find something to write with, write down your wager anywhere between 0 and the total amount you have built up so far. Once you write that down, we'll reveal the final question. And if you get it right, we will add that money. While we're waiting for that, I know people are in the midst of their Scott Fishbowl drafts. If you're looking for some help with that, you can check out our friend Andrew Cooper's 2023 rankings for the Scott Fishbowl 13 on the Fantasy Alarm website. He knows more than tight ends, but this is also a tight end heavy format, so maybe you want to listen to him a little bit. Again, you can find that at Fantasy Alarm. Andrew Cooper's 2023 Scott Fishbowl 13 rankings.
I hate it when you call him Andrew Cooper.
Coop. Sorry, is that better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Thanks.
All right, I've got my wager written down, so ready to rock and roll, gents.
I forgot we were playing.
John Luke, do you have your wager written down? Or is that what you meant by I forgot we were playing?
Now I got it, I think. Hope I did that math right.
Also, Craig does say, JL, if you prevail, this will be your 98th FYF game win overall. So you were sitting at 97. You are approaching 100. All right. Jay asked me to show the last friend or foe real quick before we get into that question. Do you guys know which one's the real Panthers logo?
That's tough.
It's B. No, it's A. It should be B, but it is in fact
Big
A
surprise.
on that one. All right. Let's see those wagers, guys. JL went with 2501 and Moody went with 2900. He bet it all. All right. JL, I haven't done the math yet, but I believe that means if you get it right, you will beat Moody by $1, is I'm assuming what you did with the math.
If I did the math correct, that is a safe thing to presume.
All right. Well, guys, here is your final question. Which of the following players was drafted the earliest in their corresponding draft year? Was it A, Tyler Lockett, B, Dak Prescott, or C, Kyle Juszczyk?
Wow.
So I need to know which player was drafted the earliest or has the most draft capital attached to them. Between Tyler Lockett, Dak Prescott, and Kyle Juszczyk. And now I'm going to do some math real quick while you guys try to determine the answer to this question.
So Dak, Lockett.
Oh my God, this is actually tough.
It is, yeah. It is.
All right. Let me know when you guys have your answers.
I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong.
But I don't want to be right.
All right, I got mine.
All right.
Just I gotta write it so it's big enough that you can actually read.
Let me pull that
I
question.
guess
back.
I didn't come prepared with my Sharpie. I'm using a highlighter here, gentlemen. So okay, I am ready.
Okay, let's go ahead and reveal those answers.
Wow.
JL said B, Dak Prescott.
But
Moody said A, Tyler Lockett. So we have two different answers.
I almost went Kyle Juszczyk. That's what I was too afraid to miss on.
You said you were too afraid to miss on Kyle Juszczyk?
My heart was telling me Kyle Juszczyk, but I was just too afraid to just whiff on it.
Well, JL, what you were afraid of, the chat was not. Victor said C. Mr. Scamper said Juice. And Dustin said Juice is the trick, but guessing Lockett. Jay said Lockett as well. We have multiple Dak guesses in here too. So multiple Dak Prescott, multiple answers on every single one. The correct answer being drafted in the 3rd round, while the other two were drafted in the 4th, is Tyler Lockett. Congratulations, Moody, on your 4th consecutive Jeopardy victory and sole ownership of the high score in Jeopardy with a final score of 5,800.
Let's go.
JL score of 790.
Let's go, baby.
Moody on top of the leaderboard.
Let's go. That was a tough one because I was sitting there thinking about like where Dak was drafted and just the whole the whole hoopla, Tony Romo, who's going to be the successor. And I just remember him dropping a little bit further into what people thought. But then I was like, it's got to be Lockett. So
I don't know why Juszczyk screamed like the perfect trick player to put in there, but I was like, ooh, you're going to want to pick Juszczyk in this one. The chat is hyped for the win. Victor said Moody wins. Maria with the congrats, Moody. And then Dame coming in with a hell of a game. So much fun.
This was a fun game.
This was such a good game. Moody, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang out with us today. Everybody watching, if you're not already following our friend Moody on Twitter, you need to remedy that as soon as possible.
Just do it.
You can find him on Twitter at Eric N. Moody. It's right there below his handsome face on the screen, or it's in the link of this YouTube video wherever you're watching it as well. Moody, thank you so much for taking the time to come and play some Jeopardy with us today.
No, it's great. Like anytime I get the Twitter direct message or the text message, hey, I'm here. And I'll just echo what you said, Simon. Hey, follow me on Twitter, all social media platforms if you're not already. So again, if you like the NFL, NBA, and WNBA from a fantasy and sports betting perspective, I'm your guy. Also tweet a lot about 2000s nostalgia as well. But I'll say most importantly, though, I like to engage with each and every one of my followers. So you tweet me something with a question, there's a high percentage of a chance that I will respond. So, hey, looking forward to it. So we're just around the corner from fantasy getting started. So always happy to help. But hey, thanks again, gents.
Truly one of the best follows in this space. And I can't wait to have you back on. Guys, that is going to be it for us today. We'll be back tomorrow and every day, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time for some more fantasy football game show fun. Until then, arrivederci, everyone.
Arrivederci.